So ADA has dropped by over 18%. And this is following on from my previous update where I mentioned that in order for us to be bullish, then we needed ADA to have held these two key levels. And if you failed to do so, then it was possible that you had a WXY structure forming where that Y wave would then tap into this region here between 80.43 cents to 82.25 cents. And as you can see, we ended up tapping into that region whilst at the same time seeing that deeper move to the downside. And that then triggered a change of character on smart money concept, given the fact that we ended up reaching past the swing low, which then further confirmed that we were on a bearish trend. And this past week, I talked about how I've been tracking a 5-hour structure, which is highlighted in green. And I talked about how there were two potential setups in play, with one of them being us being within this third wave, where there was potential for that third wave to tap into this region between 95.8 cents to 99.17 cents, given the fact that within a third wave, I was tracking a 5-hour structure, where this fifth wave was made up of an internal 5-hour structure, and I was looking at for that fifth wave to then tap into this region. But as you can see, we failed to tap into that region, and as a result of that, what we can do is discount that scenario from taking place, which leads me to the second scenario that I talked about, where I mentioned it was possible that we ended up completing the third wave, where that third wave topped off at 93.72 cents. And then we see that retracing to the downside to complete the fourth wave. And so it's possible that we're now within this fourth wave. And then we see that final push to the upside to then complete the fifth wave, where that fifth wave has the potential to reach the $1 mark. And so what I'll do is I'll remove some of this since we no longer need it. And I'll also make the chart more clearer and easier to read. And I'll remove this structure here and this structure here. I might as well remove these two lines and this one here. And so, yeah, once again, it's possible that we are now within this fourth wave. And this fourth wave typically retraces anywhere between 23.6% to 50% of the wave 3. So if I bring in the Fib tool and bring this to the local top, so here you can see that ADA has the potential to reach anywhere between 72.64 cents to 83.1 cent. So if I draw that in, you can see that we've tapped into that region. And so it will be interesting to see how the bulls respond. We have responded positively as of late, and the next key level really will be the EMA levels. And you can see that on the other charts, the bulls currently have the momentum, and of course that's reflected on this price chart. And if I go on the 4-hour chart, what you can see is we are within oversold conditions, and on the 8-hour chart, we are within oversold conditions. And so, yeah, I'm looking at for the bulls to regain control of the market. And here you can actually see that on Smart Money Concept, it's indicating that we have a weak high at the local top. And so it's still likely that we continue to breach past that level, despite this corrective move that we've witnessed over the past couple of days. And very quickly, if I go on a daily chart, what you can see is, of course, the bears currently have the momentum, and that's reflected on this price chart. And so the next key level actually will be the 200 DMA. Here we actually found support at the 50 DMA, which is actually a good thing. And so for as long as we continue to hold this position, then we can still remain bullish. Worst case scenario, we retrace towards the 200 DMA, and ideally we found support at that level and then see that continuation to the upside. If we fail to do so, then it's possible that we ended up completing the move to the upside and we see a deeper retracement to the downside. And so, in fact, if I go in the hourly chart, what you can see is, given the fact that we ended up breaching this region here, it's possible that we have a 5-hour structure that's in play. So if I bring in the Fib tool and bring this to you over here at 90.42 cents. And so here you can see that the 1.618 level was breached. And so it is possible that we have a 5-hour structure that's forming, where this is the wave 1, wave 2, a wave 3, a wave 4, and a wave 5. And this 5-hour structure could form the wave W, like so. And then we see a corrective move to the upside to complete the wave X, followed by a final push to the downside to complete the wave Y. And so it's possible that we actually breach past the yellow line at around 75 cents, which is something that I talked about previously, where I mentioned that this yellow line is a key level of support and resistance. So if I go in the weekly chart, what you can see is, for example, back over here, we found support at this yellow line, which led to this move to the upside. and then we ended up getting rejected over here. Here we found rejection, and here we found support, and then here we found resistance. And so if ADA was to retest this level, then what we need is for ADA to find support at this level and then see that reversal to the upside, where we're going to begin to track the wave 5. If we get rejected, then it's possible that we ended up completing this move to the upside, and we see that deeper retracement to the downside, where we could see a 50 to 18.2% retracement of this bigger wave structure. So very quickly, if I bring in the Fib tool once again, so what we could see is ADA reach anywhere between 54.8 cents to 69.14 cents if we get rejected at this level and we see that deeper move to the downside. But I am leaning more towards the 5-wave structure forming, given the fact that, again, all the indicators are signaling that we are still bullish despite this recent move to the downside. And I do see this as a good opportunity to be dollar cost averaging and buying in. And here you can also see that we have the potential to retest these EMA levels and see that bounce to the upside. And so, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the bulls respond to the bears taking control of the market over the past couple of days. And so, yeah, that's just my update on Cardano and ADA. Hopefully you found this useful, and if you did, then feel free to hit that like button, and if you're new, feel free to subscribe. Take it easy, people. Peace.